هذه الدورة تيكاد 8 التي تنعقد في تونس.
Tunisia. At the beginning of my words, to all the guests today, Tunisia would like to extend a warm welcome. President Macky Sall of the Republic of Senegal and Chairperson of African Union, His Excellency Mr. Kishida Fumio, Prime Minister of Japan. Unfortunately, he is not here, but Prime Minister Kishida is joining us from Tokyo. And in this conference, in this historic conference, we would like to welcome all the guests today. And once again, African countries are friends of the members of the African Union. To participate in TICAD 8, we would like to thank all those who are attending this conference and who have given us cooperation. Yesterday, with high-ranking officials and with many guests, we talked about the African experience, as well as members of the African Union. We were able to have many such meetings yesterday. And through the course of such meetings, the current situation of Africa, where many countries are still facing various problems, we talked about the causes of these problems that are faced in Africa. And in the previous century, the 60 years was a period where many leaders of African countries organized this Organization of African Union with big aspirations, but these aspirations and noble dreams and hopes, unfortunately, those dreams have not been achieved. We are still on our path towards reaching and achieving those dreams. What is the reason for that? What is the reason for the current situation that we're faced with? There are many options. Poverty, and minimum standard of living to be assured, but we are still not able to assure a minimum basic level of standard of living. So we're having this meeting with our partners today. This is a historic marriage. That is what I talked about yesterday. We have our own cultures and values. We share those values. And between ourselves, we need to try to work to shorten the distance between ourselves so that we can walk our path towards success. The reason why Japan has achieved what it has achieved so far, you know this very well. Japan is at the head of advanced countries, and we believe that we can learn a great deal from Japan in these difficult times. Japan has achieved remarkable development, and the world paid attention to Japan's success, and at the same time, the tradition and culture had been maintained while Japan moved toward development. This is something that many countries around the world can learn from Japan. To everyone here, I just would like to express my deepest gratitude. My friends, my friends from Japan, and my friends to the entire world, I'd like to thank you indeed for the friendship. But in this historic conference that we are holding today, the people in Africa, with their hopes and aspirations and dreams, we would like to engage in discussion as to how those dreams and aspirations can be achieved. People who, the leaders who aspired to be independent, that was the dream that they held and embraced. We are now in a new stage, which is separate and different from the previous stage. This is a totally new stage that we're in. In the 21st century, we're in 2020s in the 21st century. We have the COVID pandemic, and because of that pandemic, many catastrophic situations have emerged and we're faced with difficulty. But once again, we are reminded of the importance of international cooperation. And it also shows that the level of international cooperation has not achieved the level that we all want. The countries in the north, they were able to inject vaccines to many people, many times over than the people in Africa. And between many countries, there were wars and conflicts. And in the midst of globalization, in early 1990s, after the collapse of the Soviet Union in the 1990s, there have been many conflicts. As if we are going back to the 19th century. To our partners in Japan, your experience, the potential, our goals, and our dreams, I am convinced that we will be able to achieve our dreams with your cooperation. Tunisia, ever since we have entered into this stage, a new balance, a new power balance of the world is something that we have been calling upon. Africa has a lot of resources. African countries do have a lot of resources and riches, and we do have many options, but still, people are still suffering from poverty and difficulties. These issues and problems, we need to address these issues and problems, compare ourselves to the approaches taken in the past, to think of the way to achieve our objectives, to achieve stability. To all the humanity of the world, the issue is not just an issue for one single country. We are faced with the issues that relates to all of humankind. UN Charter and other international law would have relevance to the issues that we are faced with. We're now entering into a new stage. A lot of transformations are taking place. What we need to do a new mechanism which is different from the past. We need to create a new mechanism to move forward. Stable political situation. In such a context, we need to create a new mechanism. Within a half century, African countries have found themselves in this situation, and we need to explore the reason why we are in this situation today. By doing so, we can aspire to build a new society. The framework of Africa, and even outside of Africa, new sources of funding and vaccines that are in shortage, that is being sought around the world. We need to be building schools. We need to closely examine the history to think of why we find ourselves in this situation. We need to study that and examine that closely so that we can come up with a new approach, so that we can realize and achieve our dreams. With this conference with Japan, the conference has achieved many things within a short span of time. The distance in time and distance in history can be shrunk. That is needed for all of humankind. That is what I would like to emphasize. Given the instability in the world, instability in the balance of power in the world, that is the way to resolve these issues that is faced by the world. The people in Africa do have rich human resources. This is our true treasure in Africa. In encouraging future investment, a better environment can be assured. To investors, to encourage more investment, the investment has to be assured that it is safe. And as a result, more jobs will be created, and human resources could be developed further to become our treasure. We need to discuss all the problems and issues that we face. To do so, to our friends, and with our friends, and with our allies, we need to engage in dialogue. Everyone. Because time is limited, let me conclude by thanking all of you for attending this conference. Your remarks will be limited in terms of time for only a few minutes. However, I had the honor of making a few remarks at the outset. Let me welcome you to Tunisia. And this strong determination that we all share would be carving out a new future for us, a new age for us. I am convinced of that, and thank you very much for your attention.